What's up, guys? Tim Halstead here. Yeah, you're going to have a great little tour of Bob Beach's shop, Beach Performance. I've known Bob since at least probably 2005 when I had an engine issue. I kept breaking valve train and found out that I had a problem. He fixed it. I'll tell you, that was the best Cleveland I ever had. That thing went 5 years, shifting at 7,500, going through the traps at 8 grand. Never had a lick of problem with it, thanks to Bob Beach. So let's check out his shop. Now, when you walk in the shop, it's like an old-time engine shop. And this is what you feel when I walk in here. It's got the smell of cutting oil and everything. Look, there's the man himself. What's up, Robert? There's a little... I remember, you know, this thing has been sitting here since 2005. Nothing has changed in this shop. This little blower has been sitting here. I remember leaning on that thing a million times and writing stuff on it.
271.
Is that what it is? So this is Robert Beach, guys. Say hi, Robert.
Hello.
He goes by Bob, but I've been calling him Robert since I met him. So check it out. We'll kind of come over here. Now, what's this cylinder head, Robert?
67 Corvette L88 aluminum.
So that's an aluminum L88 head. I've heard the motor. You know, I'm a Ford guy, but I love everything. Look at that thing. What are you doing, a valve job on it?
It got some repair.
Oh, yeah, I can see right here a little bit. How rare are these heads?
Very, very, very rare. Very rare. Only 67 Corvette.
Is that when they were? That's the only year they were on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang it, man.
67, the date. There's the date right there. 67 feet, 631 to 67.
Let me get it there. You know what's funny is they have the date where you can read it compared to other manufacturers. Sometimes just have these codes. Does GM do that on a lot of their parts?
Oh, yeah. The date, you can find the date in most all their stuff.
Really? What are these CCs? Probably about 75?
No,
70?
they're about 105. Probably.
Okay. Yeah, I can see now when I look at the depth. Here's the other mate to that head. I've never seen an L88 head. But it's pretty light, I'll tell you. Let's look at the exhaust ports. Nice. Look at that. You can see they flow right there. Let's get a better view. So he showed me another Chevy motor. Now this is a 4-bolt 396. 68. Now I've heard a lot of 396s, but I didn't know about 4 bolts. That's pretty rare. Standard bore.
Oh, yeah.
So there it is, boys. You want it? $1,500 for you Chevy boys that are watching. So I'll tell you, Bob has a lot of rare engines, stuff that you're never even going to believe, because I don't believe it. But wait till you see what I found over in that corner. But this is obviously it's a Chevy, I can tell by the exhaust, and some kind of blower. It says Latham. Well, tell us about it, Robert. So what was this made for?
This was made to make a 300 horse Chevrolet, another 100 horse, maybe 400 horse. This is 327. It would take a 300 horse motor and a 400 horse motor. 7 pounds boost.
7 pounds.
7 pounds boost.
Now, when I look at it, you know, the GMC blowers, I mean, you think about that, the way that the bottom's underneath, it's just put through a big blower manifold. I don't see how this is getting air into it, though. Where's the air going in?
See, this is an axial. The air comes in here.
Yep, I can dig it.
And the axial flow. These are axial flow. These are like turbines.
Yep.
Screws the air to the back, compress it back, and blows it off the bottom. It's like a jet motor without a combustion chamber. The jet motor, it screws the air in there,
yep,
sucks it in there, and blows it, and lights it up and blows out the back. This thing here sucks the air in, compresses it, stuff it out the bottom into the motor, and then it goes to the motor.
So it's only coming out, the air is only coming out this section back here.
One hole.
And what are these? These aren't, what kind of carbs are these?
Carter YFs.
Carter YF.
YFs.
Never even seen them. They look like Weber side drafts or something.
They're Carter side draft carburetors off of 54 Corvette 6-cylinder.
Wow. Look at this. You see this, guys? This is the stuff that blows me away. You know, we could almost even fire it up if we got time. But we're not going to worry about that right now. We may, and if we don't, I'll have you video it and we'll make a video on this.
First, take a standard Chevrolet,
yep,
300, standard compression, and just make making horsepower.
7
7
pounds of boost.
7 pounds boost.
So what's the compression ratio on this with that kind of boost?
When it starts out with a 10-to-1 motor,
Okay.
10-to-1 compression starts out, it creates a boost.
But I'm saying it's 10-to-1 now.
Yeah.
Instead of 8-to-1 or 9-to-1, what do you think?
It's a flat top piston, 327, 10-to-1 compression. Make it original Mickey Thompson Ford's flat top pistons.
Really?
Yep.
From back in the day?
Yep. I bought the whole kit from Carlisle. Back in the days. But Mickey Thompson Ford's piston, the whole kit, the whole thing, just done. Just in a pile, just put it all together and motor.
Wow. Now listen, guys, Bob's a very humble man. He doesn't talk loud. He doesn't talk boisterous like me. So hopefully we can hear everything. I've never seen anything like it, so it's awesome. And you guys that are into Chevys, you probably know more about this stuff than I do.
They put it in 58 to 62 Corvettes.
Okay.
58 to 62.
Yep.
This is all the Corvette distributor, everything's all Corvette stuff.
Okay. I knew a guy once where I lived in Baldwinsville, New York. His name was James Bond, believe it or not. R.I.P. James. But he bought a brand new 62 Corvette with a 283 with 2 4-barrels on it. And I bet you it's still sitting in that garage. Because I went to look at it one time and I even rode in it. That thing was such a classic. But I remember the carburetors they didn't leak, but they had that wet moisture where they probably seeped through the gaskets. And that car, he died, and I know that car is probably still sitting in the garage. I don't know whatever happened to it, but it was a time capsule to see a car like that. And that was in the 80s.
Yeah, I bought all this whole blower top from a guy in Pennsylvania at Carlisle. He had it. His friends had a dragster.
Okay.
They used it. They got done with it. They packaged all it, put it away. This is like 62.
Yep.
I bought it in like 89.
In 62, they put it away.
Put it away, but packaged everything up, boxed it up there. Everything was perfectly in shape. Just boxed it up, put it away. I bought it at Carlisle at the big swap meet.
Nice. I used to go to Carlisle every year back in the 80s. Just walk fields and fields of parts and see the cars.
Because all this stuff was there then. You could buy all this neat stuff was at Carlisle then. You could buy anything you wanted. Viper motors and Latham blowers, Z01 blocks.
Oh yeah.
It just that guy from Detroit. He had all the old Can-Am stuff in a whole building, a whole row of that stuff. It's all there then. Today it's collector stuff now.
Did you ever hear of a ZL1 427?
Sure.
We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
But here's something unique. I noticed this blower belt. The cogs are on the outside.
That is a necessity. The original blowers, the original belts were flat.
Right.
They always slip.
Yep.
This is a real blower belt that I just flipped up. The pulleys are smooth. There's no notches in the
Yep, I get it.
So I bought a blower belt. I'm lucky to fall on the right leg. Turn it upside down and use it as my blower belt for that thing there.
Necessity is the mother of invention, Robert. I'll tell you right there. Now, if you wanted to, can you change the pulleys to change the ratio to increase boost?
Well, this thing here runs 5 times motor speed already. 10-inch pulley.
Yep.
2-inch pulley.
Yep.
It's already 10 times motor speed. So this thing runs 20,000 RPM because there's no moving parts. All you got is rotors in there.
Okay. Now, is that underdriven?
That's over. This overdriven. There's 5 times. There's
5 times.
10-inch pulley on the bottom.
Okay.
2-inch pulley on the top. That's all overdriven. That's
yeah, I don't understand. That's one thing I'm not good at.
5 times over.
With blowers. And I'll show you a picture of this pulley. I don't think you can see it there, but that thing's a monster. Looks like an aluminum pulley there.
It's a cast iron pulley.
It's cast iron?
Well, it probably is aluminum. I believe it is aluminum.
Yeah, it's aluminum. Wow. So let me get you some close-up views of this, and then we're going to go on to the next thing. So hold tight. So let's get a picture of the rear and kind of show you what it looks like back here. Robert, I know you can't start it right now. You think you can turn it over just so we can hear it? Oh yeah. Nice. There you go. If I had more time, we'd be moving stuff around and get it fired up. But wait till you see this other rare piece we'll get to now. So here's his shop here. This is where he does his head assembly and everything. I remember you showed me doing a set of heads, my heads, back in 2005. I was here, remember? You showed me how to kind of do the basics of it. And you treat me like family, Robert. I appreciate that. There's his old lathe that's probably been there for what, 30 years?
Since the shop.
We'll talk about that in a second. Let's move over here. Oh yeah, let's get up there.
We had that.
I know I'm going to tell him. So there, guys, is Glidden's EXP. Bob actually owned that car, and we'll talk about that when we get down. We're going to sit down and do a little interview. But he's got a lot of pictures. There's his vet up there, which I'll get a picture of. It's right there. We'll get a picture of that and talk about that. There's what, Linda Vaughn?
Yep. We've got all her pictures.
Oh, yeah.
All her autograph pictures.
And there's what we're going to look at next. The 427 SOCH, baby. It's a boring machine. We'll see if you guys know what that is. Just think about that. Get a good look at that. Now, the pièce résistance. Whatever you say in French. There it is. The camera, baby. We were just talking about, I hate that air cleaner because I think it restricts flow, but it needed to fit under the hood. But this is such a beauty, Robert. So for you guys, you heard me talk with Sam Oxler Jr. about his cameras that he raced. I don't think he has any more parts left. I'll have to talk to him or text him about that. So we're going to talk about this. This is Bob Beach right here. Say hi to the camera.
Hello. I'm here.
Yep. Let me see if it looks good. Oh, yeah. Let me see what I can see on this side. So if I stand, yeah, I'm right here, we're good. So tell me about this 427 camera. Now, how many did you bought? 2 of them, or how'd that work, Robert?
I bought one brand new in '68. You had to have it. At that time, they weren't cheap. They were $2,400. I bought it, got it all done, went through it,
Yep.
got it ready to go. What am I going to do with it? So I sold it to some friends. They put it in a '69 Boss 429 Mustang.
Yep.
It was a rocket. You know, it was nice, went good, went fast. Had a lot of fun with it.
So let me tell you the story about that engine. So a buddy of mine, we call him the Shoe, Larry Bear. You know Larry well.
Sure.
So he calls me up and he says, hey, Halstead, guess what? You've always wanted a 40 Ford coupe. I know where there's one in Millersport, Ohio, sitting in a garage. The guy apparently died, and his daughter had all this stuff, or he had all this stuff in the body shop. He said, let's go look at it. Now the story goes is this. Apparently they had a couple 426 Hemis.
2 of them.
Yeah, that she sold for like $600.
Yeah, cheap.
Yeah, she didn't know what they were worth. So she sold them. So apparently she got smart about some stuff or did some research. So when I walked in that garage, it was like an old body shop. I remember there's a little vestibule with a desk, and sitting in a grocery cart was a 427 Cammer, just like this, with a Dynodon prototype intake with 2 4s. I mean, it was complete, carved oil pan. And I wanted that. And I said, well, what do you want for that? She goes, well, I got ripped off on these Hemis. I need $10,000 for that. I said, okay, let me think about that. So we went on our way. I went and saw the 40 Ford Coupe, which I bought at that time for like $1,200, I think. And it came with a brand new flathead that I gave to you. Remember that?
Right.
You didn't forget now, did you? All right. So I gave you that, and I kept the car, and it came with all the sheet metal, all kinds of parts. And actually, I ended up selling those parts back in 2005, most of them that I didn't need, and I kept what I thought was important.
And that camera was the engine that we had in that Mustang. That was the motor.
Damn.
That one I built.
Yeah.
The only Dynodon Nicholson toner that ever got loose to regular people.
Yep. So I said, listen, I can't afford it, so I called my buddy Paul Solomon. You know that I'm going to get a hold of you, Paul. And I said, listen, I got a camera over here. If you want it, it's 10 grand. He said, I'll be over there in about an hour. So he came over and bought that. I bought the coupe. My friend Larry Berry, Shoe, you're going to be seeing this. He bought a 427 side oiler on the factory Ford crate that had been sitting there. He bought that for $600. We went like the next month or so to the Ford swap meet and sold it for $4,600. He gave me an $800 selling fee. Thanks, Shoe. That meant a lot to me. So I don't know what happened to that engine. So Bob's always wanted a Camry since then. And actually, don't you have the damn receipt for that thing?
Yep.
We'll get a picture of that. You have the receipt for that. It blows me away. So let's finish back the story about the Camry now.
Well, this So the first one I bought at the Ford show in Columbus in pieces. A guy from Texas showed up with this pile of parts that he had bought from a guy in Detroit. That his factory engineer, he died. He collected all these parts. His son got this stuff. He offloaded the parts to the guy in Texas. He shows up at the Ford show with this pile. I asked him, how much, what are you going to have for all the pieces to build a camera? He gave me a figure. I said, start digging. So we have all the pieces. They were all SK stuff.
Okay.
Which is, you know, that's
Yep, I know what SK is. Yep.
No part of SK, all neat, new good stuff. I got enough pieces to build a motor, minus the intake. Jim Robinson in Richmond, Indiana, found me that intake in Georgia.
Okay.
Then it was $1,000 for that new NLS 4-barrel manifold. So we made a motor, all the pieces. We got all the original stuff. Never had it. So then Reichert decided, Pete and Reichert decided they had to have the order.
Hey Pete, if you're gonna watch this, we're telling that story. So I told you I'm coming to your museum to check it all out.
So he bought the motor. So this one here showed up online, someone online in Texas. This lady, somebody had died.
Yep.
It was originally owned by, it was what, Mark Donahue's collection. Mark Donahue got killed racing.
Yep.
His stuff got offloaded. It was in a sale. So I bought this, the big hammer, and they were going to put it in the truck. It never happened. So they put it online, and I made the call, asked how much it could take to buy it, and they were from Tennessee, so I gave her a figure. So you send me a bank check this year. So I sent him a bank check. It cleared, everything goes. So 2 days later, R&L, that thing's sitting in my yard.
Yeah, I know R&L. Yeah.
2 days later, it's sitting in my yard in the back of the semi, back of the yard.
I just saw one of these intakes on sale on Facebook. I think. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
What was it, like $1,500?
No, $4,500.
Oh, wrong.
They wanted $4,500
Did they really?
for it.
Damn. I know.
Single 4-barrel.
That's crazy. So our goal is here's what we've been talking. I've been trying to talk Robert into this, and I know it's going to happen because I got a good feeling about it. But you know, what are you? 81. 81. So 81, and he's still working in his shop, just like Warren Johnson's 81, and he works in his shop every day. And Bob's not going to quit. But I can't see you, and you even told me this. You ain't going to be crawling around under the car, building and doing all this stuff because it's too much work. So I had talked to Mike Weeks about this, Mike, so you know about it. And Mike wants to do it. And I think we can put this in your car for your dream. And we're going to talk about that somewhere along the line. I like how your eyebrows go up because that's what your dream is. That's what you want is that car. So I'm going to try to make it happen for you, Robert. I love this. 427, baby. Nothing like it. So what we'll have to do is, I don't know how it's all going to work out, but obviously I'm going to come back here. We wanted to get it on the run stand and get it fired up, make sure everything's good before we go doing this project if it works out that way. So the next time we come by, we'll have it on a run stand and we're going to get this thing running and see what the camera sounds with open headers. I can't wait for that. And this is based on a camera block, which is really what, 427 side oiler?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Any questions? Leave them in the comments. And if I don't know the answer, I'll talk to Robert about it. We'll see what we can find out. Yeah, this is going to be freaking great.
This is all original camera stuff. The original deep Ford oil pan. That was an add-on. These motors were all shipped with stock 390 pans.
Okay.
All of them. So everybody put a rate. So Ford made a composition pan for these motors. They were cheap.
Yep.
Back then, $30, $40, whatever. And they worked all well baffled, big long pickup. They carried the job. They did the job on these motors. No oil power.
I've seen ads back, old school ads where these things were going for like $1,200.
Oh, they
couldn't get rid of them or something.
They got down to 500.
Did they really?
When they cleared them out, the guys. That's the story I get. They had a whole room full of them. When I bought, they were still hot, and I had to pay $2,400 for mine.
You should have waited a couple of years. So let me ask you this: you've been building engines for how long, Robert?
Since 50 years.
50 years. You've been a machinist for 50 years.
Well, after Air Force and stuff.
You were in the Air Force? What'd you do there? Wrench?
Jet mechanic.
Jet mechanic. Okay.
Aircraft.
Nice. What did you think? Because I've heard, there's a lot of things they talk, and even Sam Oxler was talking about it. The issue with the camera was it had the best top end. It was durable and all that. It's the bottom end, the blocks that they had some issues
the
with.
bottoms were thin wall castings.
Okay.
They were thin wall castings, but a lot of them cracked just because they felt like it.
Okay. Nice.
That was really the downfall of the thin wall blocks. The blow-up Henry blocks are really thick. See, these were thin. Well, these were car blocks, thin.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what they went. That's what they never changed.
And we're gonna talk to a guy. I'll just give you a hint. His name is George. He lives around here in Ohio. I think maybe Dayton. But we're gonna end up talking with him because Bob knows him. We're gonna hook up with him because I think he has some things I think you're gonna be interested. And by the way, happy 90th birthday, George. Stay tuned for the next episode of DBG. More at Bob Beach Performance.